Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here with us this morning. My voice, I think, will get me through my short introduction. We're at the Capitol today to talk about an issue that impacts all of us in this state. Regardless of where we live, Arizonans want our kids to go to schools that are safe and nurtures their curiosity and their love of learning. As educators, our students are at the center of everything we do, everything we prepare for, everything we think about, all the hopes that we have, we put in front of our students. We challenge them to get better, and we reward them when we see those accomplishments. There's nothing like it in the world. Throughout the ongoing pandemic, educators did everything, in person, hybrid, at a distance, making connections, not just lessons, but food, accessibility. Educators have gone above and beyond to make sure students have received as best a quality public education as we can get. But we're falling short of what they deserve. As we stand here, Arizona has a budget surplus of $5.3 billion, some of that permanent and ongoing revenue. The excuses are gone. There is no more we don't have the resources to address the issues that are impacting Arizona students. We have the dollars now. We need to invest in our schools and our students today. After deliberately underfunding and neglecting the majority of our K-12 students year after year after year, we can no longer sit and watch this happen yet again with $5.3 billion on the table. Much of that should be invested. A legislature and a governor that doesn't support our teachers and students now is a legislature and a governor that does not care about a shortage of teachers in a classroom, that does not care about the quality of education. We're going to find out which legislators support us. We're going to find out who's ready to stand with our teachers, with our students, very, very soon. Now is that time to stand with us. Stand with our educators, our students, and their parents to ensure that there is safety and equity in all of our schools across the state. If the incredible stresses and challenges of the past 3 school years have taught us anything, and you can ask any educator this, it's that our students and educators need us to invest in them, to stand by them, and to support them, and they can be successful. Absent that, it's a harder challenge. And again, with a $5.3 billion surplus, the legislature and governor have run out of excuses as to why they refuse to support our students, our staff, and our teachers. The educator shortage, part of the solution must include salaries for teachers and school staff so they stop leaving our classrooms, our school sites, and go to work in other states and other occupations. Students need them to be there on day one. What we get from the legislature and the budget will largely determine that. If we are not able to retain teachers and education support professionals because of low pay, it's the students who lose out on the end. As the voice of 20,000 educators across the state, AEA is asking legislators to support the educators' budget to meet the needs of our students, our staff, and our classroom teachers. Today, you will hear stories from teachers and community members who are asking our elected officials to invest in our schools, to invest in our students. We'll hear from Mary Gilmore, a teacher in the Paradise Valley Union School District, who has decided that she must leave the profession that she loves. We'll hear from Jonathan Otero, a student from NAU who is aspiring to be a teacher in Arizona, and we must keep quality people like Jonathan in our state. And finally, you'll hear from Marisol Garcia, a social studies teacher out of the Isaac School District and currently serving as AEA Vice President, who will speak about what's in the educators' budget and what our next steps are. Thank you. Mary?
I grew up watching movies like Matilda, thinking to myself I could be the real-life Miss Honey. I remember at an early age setting up my stuffed animals in front of the easel. I grew up watching movies like Matilda, thinking to myself, I could be the real-life Miss Honey. I remember at an early age setting up my stuffed animals in my room in front of the easel the second I got home from school. I couldn't wait to transform into Miss Gilmore and teach them everything I learned that day. And for the last 9 years of my teaching career, I tried my best to embody Miss Honey. I gave every student that walked into my classroom my entire heart and soul. To this day, I still receive emails, phone calls, and even invitations to former students' dance recitals. These students and families continue to tell me how much I've impacted them and truly made a difference in their lives. While these interactions and this recognition reinforced for me that my aspirations are worthwhile, the biggest compliment I received was just this year. I was nominated and won Teacher of the Year through my community. Parents in the community nominated and voted for the best teacher at our school. Our school is brand new and open this year, 2021-2022. The principal personally selected every teacher at my school, and because of that, I feel like I'm teaching with the best of the best. Just like I do, every single teacher brings their all every single day. When my principal surprised me in the middle of class to announce that I was the recipient of the award, I felt like I did it. I truly had become Miss Honey. And yet, despite winning this tremendous honor and being incredibly passionate about teaching and students, I made the heartbreaking decision to resign from education this year. And I'm not the only one. 5 other outstanding teachers at my school made their own decision to do the same. And to be clear, we're not leaving for another school. We're leaving education altogether. You see, the thing that no one really knows about Miss Honey is that she too had to survive on low wages. Teachers today are faced with challenges in the classroom as we are responsible for young minds learning and young bodies staying safe. And then we go home to struggle to pay the bills and feed our families and ourselves. For most of the 9 years of my teaching career, I've worked a second job, such as serving, delivering groceries for Instacart, and working summer schools. I wish I worked these extra jobs for fun or frivolous money, but I had to work more just to make ends meet. Teaching alone is a demanding job. We make more split-second decisions a day than a 911 operator. Imagine working a second job on top of this already incredibly stressful but important one. I found myself mentally and physically exhausted every day, and it became harder and harder to embody the spirit of the amazing Miss Honey that I wanted to be. I wanted to continue pursuing my passion of teaching, so I moved in with my Nana because I simply couldn't afford to be emotionally and physically exhausted after working multiple jobs. While there may be information out there that make it sound like teacher salary is enough to enjoy luxuries, I can confidently say that every teacher I talk to is feeling the same financial struggle. My monthly take-home pay is $2,200. Close to my school, the average cost of rent alone is $2,000. I'm sure you're able to do the math and figure out how much is left for utilities, internet, and other necessities. Teachers often hear about room for growth and other incentives. The amazing teacher in the classroom next door to me, who has been teaching for 25 years, brings home $400 more per month. And remember, she's been teaching 16 more years than I have. I'll do the math for you on this one. For the purpose of this example, I'll use my current rate of pay as her starting pay 25 years ago. On average, she has only earned $192 more per year from her starting salary. Less than $200 per year. Doesn't even come close to the cost of living adjustments, which is already not keeping up with the actual rise of cost of living. Not only as we are teachers underpaid, but our schools are underfunded as well. Annual budgets don't include learning supplies, such as the colorful posters and decorations you see on the classroom walls. It doesn't include items like crayons and markers and manipulatives and tissues. These supplies are vital to an effective classroom, so teachers are forced to spend our own money to stock our classroom. Why, you ask? Because we still care about the quality of education our students receive. We refuse to let the budget shortage take away from those amazing experiences we know our students deserve. And that doesn't even scratch the surface of what our students from the lower socioeconomic students deserve and need that schools can't provide. So the question I stand before you and ask you today is, why are our schools facing such a drastic budget shortage when we have a budget surplus of $5.3 billion? Not a million, a billion. Our schools and our education system need us now more than ever to use this surplus and turn education in Arizona around. We need parents and policymakers to come together. It is our responsibility to do better for the children in our state. No more placing blame